Good morning, friends, and I thank BOSCON for giving me this opportunity. And my job is very clearly defined to motivate the people who are not doing Toric IOL to go for the Toric IOL. This is the most forgiving lens, and you can never go wrong with the Toric IOLs. So anybody who is a little reluctant in not using them, whether they will get the desired result or not, after a few minutes, I think will be convinced that it's one of the simplest thing to do. And the first question which comes to our mind, how much should be the astigmatism that we should target for and can correct? If you do not have the IOL master, the optical biometer and a pentacam, just have basic instruments like manual keratometer, auto refractometer, then I think the astigmatism should be 1.5 or more. But if you have the optical biometer, you can easily go up to 1 diopter. And if you got a pentacam, then you can go up to the 0.67 diopter. You can aim for correcting that. Particularly when you are using the multifocal IOL, because now the toricity at the IOL plane is available at 1, which can correct at the corneal plane 2/3 of that, which is 0.67. So depending upon the type of instruments you have and the understanding you have, that should be your target. So initially we were correcting when we started, say 20 years back, up to 1.5 and above. Then we came down to 1 with the improvement in the measurement, and now we can even go up to the 0.67, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. So we measure two things, axis and a power. Axis is more important than the power, because if the power, suppose you wanted to correct 2, you correct 1, there is no problem. But if the axis is wrong, then everything can go wrong. So selecting the axis, optical biometry and pentacam, these two are the most important. And important thing to remember is that optical biometer measures between 2 and 3 millimeter zone, while the pentacam you get a reading at 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter, 4 millimeter, and so on. And it gives the pentacam will also give the anterior surface and a total corneal power. So when you are trying to compare the optical biometer, you should compare anterior with the anterior and the pentacam reading between 2 and 3 millimeter zone. So only then you can compare. Otherwise at 1 millimeter it may be entirely different than what it is at the optical biometer. Then you might think that the axis is too much variation in the axis, which is not true. And when you are selecting the axis, this is the crowding of the values, not the average is important. So you ask whatever machine you are using, bring the keratometric chart and see if there is one axis which is all others say 93 and one is 107, then it may go all haywire. So see whether there is a crowding of the axis.